Okay, so till now we have discussed like HTML basic things. So we already had brief knowledge, brief discussions on HTML, like how to create the HTML pages, how to use different tags and all we already discussed. And in yesterday's session, we have discussed about how to include the CSS in the HTML web pages. There are different ways that we can include CSS in the HTML web pages, right? So that might be like inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. And we have saw that differences, what will happen when we included the inline CSS, when we included the internal CSS, and right. So in today's session, we'll be discussing about a few things like what is ID, what is class, okay, and then we'll see few other CSS properties as well. Okay, I'm just creating one simple HTML page. Session 6. Just writing something called h1 tag here. Okay, let's open this in the live server. I hope you are able to see this, right? Now let's see what is an ID and what is an class in the CSS. Okay, so in your colleges or classes, they everyone will be having roll numbers, right? An unique ID. So what is that roll number means? So you'll be having a unique number or unique ID to represent your particular position or your person, right? So like same in that way, in HTML also we can identify particular element with the help of the ID or class names. Understood? So I'll tell you in deep again, like, so first let's see how to use the ID, then I will tell you about the ID, or else we'll see first the ID. Okay, so ID means it's an unique name. Okay, you have to give with the help of ID is a simple property for the HTML elements. You can mention the ID property and you can mention the name of the particular HTML element. Why? Because you can access that particular element in CSS. Till now what we have discussed, we can access with the help of the HTML tag name, right? We can change the CSS properties and all based on the HTML tag name, right? In the same way, now what we can do is we can access elements with the help of the unique name or multiple names. So for example, here I am going to create a p tag. Okay, so this is sample, this is a sample text for ready and class properties. Okay, so ID is unique and class is not unique. It's like multiple class names we can use. For example, 10th class means in 10th class there will be a lot of students, right? The lot of students. But inside the 10th class, every student will have a unique ID, right? Unique roll number. Roll number 1, 2, 3, like that, right? But 10th class means it's a generic, like the whole people who are there in the 10th class will be called at 10th class, right? So same, the ID means they have their unique number. So how can we use that? Means here you can use the ID property and you can mention what is there. So for example, uh, you can mention any name, anything, whatever you want. For example, I am mentioning ID property Okay, and just mentioning ID property. This is the name. You can mention any name in place of this. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I am going to create a simple CSS file. So body I am just going to give. Okay, not required probably. So how can we access this ID means? Okay. So if I have created something else here also, for example, be this random text. You can see our website now. Okay, this is our web page, right? So actually what we will do here, we need to import that library. Import import the CSS libraries. Link. Uh, okay, here. So now how can we actually what we have done yesterday? We have just mentioned the p tag like HTML tag name, and we have mentioned the CSS properties, right? Let's take color will be red. Should not mention in the double quote. Okay. So this is how we have mentioned yesterday, right? So we just declared the HTML tag name and we have added the CSS properties, right? So now what happened for all the p tags, wherever we have used, all those data has been all those text color has been changed to red, right? So but we need to change only this particular element color to be red. How can we do that? So for that only we will be having the ID properties and class properties. With the help of that we can mention. So you want to access ID properties, you need to mention hash ID property color red. Okay, now we can see only this particular text has been changed, right? Here what we have done, here we have named this particular element with the ID property as ID property. Okay, here we have named as ID property as the name for this particular p tag, and we have changed only this particular p tag with the help of the hash. So how can we access the ID properties, ID names and all in CSS means with the help of the hash. Okay, so if you want to access only the like HTML tag, you can just to mention the HTML tag name and then you can write the CSS. If you want to access with the help of the ID names, you have to mention hash and then you have to mention the CSS properties. Now you can see only this particular element color has been changed, not this color. Okay, so ID is unique in the this thing. So what I'm going to do is you can do this. You can see both has been changed. So you can use multiple times of the same ID, multiple times the same ID, but you cannot use the same ID in different places. What will happen means the same properties will apply to multiple things. So in place of that, we can use class property as well. Okay, I'm just mentioning class property. So how can we use the class property means? So with the help of the dot. With the help of the dot, you can use the class property. Class property, and you can mention color. Okay, you can see the color. Okay, so with the help of the class property, we can access the CSS HTML elements. When you are using the CSS, these class elements, class property names, then you have to mention dot. Okay, so mostly when we will use the class properties means whenever we are going to do some design CSS and all, mostly we will use the class properties. When we are going to access the HTML elements in JavaScript, then we will use the ID property where because it is unique, right? It must be unique. ID must be unique, so we will use in JavaScript. Okay, so from now onwards, whatever I am going to use the CSS and all, for the HTML, I will use only say class properties. So when we are going to discuss about the JavaScript and how can we access the HTML and all in JavaScript, on that time onwards, we'll use the ID properties. Is it clear, guys, about the ID property and class property? Now let's see some CSS. Now let's see some CSS properties as well. Okay, so for font related, okay, font related properties. So there are multiple properties are there which are related to font. Okay, you will be having font size. Okay, you have to mention in terms of the pixels. Let's say 25 pixel. You can see the font size. Okay, font property, font size, and you will be having font weight. So you want to mention in bold or italic, whatever you want, you can mention. Okay, now you can see it is in bold, and you will be having font family. Font hyphen family. So you can mention different font families. For example, if I am going to mention this, now you can see the font family. The font, for example, if you open like Word, I'll show you. Okay, if I write something here, okay, here we can change the font families, right? Here we will be having different font families. Okay, from here you can select different font families, and from here you can change the different font size, and you can make it bold, italic, underline. Okay, you can change the color, right? You can change the background color as well. You can mention the background color. Okay, and whatever you are able to do here in the Word, the same things we can do here as well. So now you can see here we have mentioned the font size, font weight as bold, and you can. So for example, if you want like same font family, is this Algerian? You can mention here. Okay, this is the Algerian font family. Understood? Okay, in the same way, if you want to like, if you want to mention the background, background color, what you can do, background hyphen color, you can mention yellow. Okay, you can see background color is yellow. Understood? These are the font related properties. Okay, are you able to understand, guys? Are you able to understand, or else you have any doubts? Just give me 1 minute. So, வந்துட்டீங்களா? சரி 1 minute நான் வந்துட்டு இருக்கேன். நான் வெளியே வந்துட்டு இருக்கேன். వినయ్ ఆర్డర్ వచ్చింది. బోర్డ్ కాడ ఉన్నాడంట. Yes, guys. Sorry. Sorry for the inconvenience. So let's come back. So are you able to understand this? Whatever we are discussing? Are you able to understand this or not? Yes, no. Okay, fine. So now let's see background related properties. So in background now, as of now, we are giving only the what do you call particular color only, right? We can give lot of we can give background image, we can give background gradient, linear gradients and all. So now let's see about the div. Okay, div property. HTML element. So div is the HTML element where you can divide the content. Okay, for dividing the content, we will be using the div. So for particular div is the particular container type of things. If you want to divide the content into different boxes, different containers, on the times we will be using the div tag. Okay, so now I'm just mentioning class equals to box one. Okay, so here I'm going to mention box one background. So first I will discuss about uh, the margin, sorry, not margin, height and width. Okay, if I want to, let's see some simple tag, I think will be better to understand. Hmm, okay, let me create one more div here inside this p tag. Inner box one. Okay, I'm going to mention here dot inner box one. Okay, one more thing is you need to remember like the same class name we have to mention, otherwise it will not recognize the class name. Okay, so now you can see here hello is there. Alright, hello is there. So now what I am going to do is I am going to give the border colors and all. Okay, so I am just going to give border. Okay, this is the border. Okay, so this is the outer box borders. Same like this. I'm going to give for the this with some other color. You can say like blue. Okay. Now I just given the border colors for the particular box. So there is a CSS property called border. So you can mention what is the width of the particular border radius. This is 1 pixel is the border radius, and you have to show the border in the solid color or what, and then you can mention the color. Okay. Now I am going to mention height. Height is the CSS property where you can mention in terms of the pixel or in terms of percentage as well. So I am going to mention height will be 250 pixel, width will be 250 pixel as well. Okay, and for the inner this thing I am going to mention 200 pixel, width 200 pixel. Okay, now you can see, now you can see, are you able to see this outer box and inner box? Okay, two boxes and the text is there. Okay, so there are some other properties. How can we align the content to be the center? Okay, and this text also we can align to center. This particular box also we can align to center. How can we do that? So for that we will be having a property called display. Okay, display is the CSS property which will be useful to align the content. Okay, I am going to mention the display as flex. Okay, display flex means it will be flexible to show the content. Now there are some properties called align items. I just wanted to mention in center. Okay, align items to be centered, justify content to be centered. Sorry. Okay, if I just mention align items to be centered, now you can see the items comes to the center place. Justify contents means the complete content will come to the center point. Okay, that means align items is the y-axis, justify content is the x-axis. Okay, when you mention the align items, y-axis means this, right, straight line. So from there, from the top to bottom, it will be on the center. When we mention justify content from left to right, it will be center. Okay, you can see now it is center. Right? Are you able to see this? Now the whole content is in center format. Okay, here you can use, there is a property called text align, that is centered. You can use that one as well, so the text will come to center. Understood, guys? Are you able to understand this? Okay, so we have created two boxes here. One is outer box, another is inner box, and inside the inner box we have mentioned the text, right? So now what we can do, we can do like, there is a background image property. Okay, background image, you can mention the image, or else before going to that you can mention the image. I don't have any images here. Let's go and download a simple image. Background image. Let's store this in the same file. H3 CSS. img1. Okay, I just have been saved the file. Now go back here. I'm just going to mention dot slash set slash image one. You can see this background image. I'll just change the color to be something else. Uh, yellow. Yellow. Okay, so you can see the background image, or else what I will do is I will just mention this as 3 pixels so that you can see the border radius red color. Okay, this is how we can add the image. For example, if I want to add some other image, for example, let us take which image, let's take some light color. Okay, if I want to mention this color, save image, img2. Now I'm going here. You can just copy this. Okay, img2. Okay, now we can see. Okay, so let's increase this as 3 pixels so that you can identify the difference. In place of this one, you can give yellow. Okay, outer box, inner box, outer image, and inner image, 2 images. Are you able to understand this? How to mention background images? Okay, so this is simple example to insert the background image. Okay, so like this, there are a lot other properties for the background image. Let's see those as well. Okay, so for background property, I'm just copying this. Okay, I am going to mention as box 2, inner box 2, box 2. Okay, so for this one, we are going to design. Okay, I will just copy the whole thing. Sit here, box 2, inner box 2. Okay, you can see everything is same. So there will be few properties. I'll explain those also now. Okay, I will just change the color, black color. This will be red color, just to differentiate. No problem, you are unable to see this, but it's okay. So there will be some properties called margin and padding. Okay, margin you can give like how many pixel, what is the gap. Margin means this gap, outside our gap. Okay, so for example, if I am going to give here margin 10 pixel. Now you can see the whole margins, top, right, bottom, left, everything is 10 pixel comes to this side, right? So if I give padding, 10 pixel. Padding is for the internal content. If I give 10 pixel, now you can see internally the content has been moved to 10 pixel. This content. Understood? And in this padding and margin, you can mention margin left only. If you want only margin left, you can mention only the left side margin. Okay. So then it will be better to have this here. Okay. I will just remove this display flex and also understand better. So here we have just given the margin left 10 pixel, right? Margin left we have given 10 pixel. So if we want to give like margin right also 10 pixel or 20 pixel, I want to give right side, from right side it will be 20 pixel. I want it with 20 pixel. You can mention in this way. Right side will be 20 pixel. And top, I want top with 30 pixel. From top it will be 30 pixel. Okay, from bottom I want something like 20 pixel. Okay, from bottom it will be 20 pixel. In this way that you can arrange, like you can give margin like this, or else if you want to give all sides will be same. If you want to give all sides, for all sides the margin will be like 10 pixel, that also you can give. Okay, from all sides. Okay, and padding means internal content. So inside the box whatever there, that if you want to arrange it in some other way, you can use padding. Same like margin, it will be having padding left, right, top, bottom and all. Understood? This is what the difference between the margin and padding, and this is how we can use the margin and padding. Let's come back to this. Okay, here I am just going to use margin. Let's take 30 pixels so that it will be proper. This box. Okay, this box is proper here. Now what I am going to do is I am going to mention different colors. So for the background color, not only the images, we will be having some gradients. Okay, linear gradient, and here you can mention to which side you are going to mention the color, and here you can mention red and different colors that you can mention. Okay, you can see in place of red you can take something like this. Okay, so linear gradient, so you can mention from left to right or top to bottom which color, different colors, multiple colors you can mention, not only two, you can mention some other colors also. Okay, some other colors also, you can mention how many colors that you want, but linearly it will arrange, it will arrange the data linearly. Okay, straight, or it will be in linear format. Understood? So as of now I'm mentioning only two colors. So if you want, like you can mention to right, to bottom, okay, or else to left, or else to top. Okay, in whatever the way that you want you can mention. I am just mentioning left. So in whichever way that you want you can arrange. So same like this, we will be having one more property called radial gradient. Radial gradient means in terms of the circle it will come. Okay, let's see that one as well. Radial gradient. Okay, I am mentioning red, yellow. Okay, you can see radial gradient means circle will come, right? So you can mention here also multiple colors, it's not a problem. Okay, you can see red, yellow, and gray. If you want, you can mention multiple colors. It will be in the terms of the radials, like circles. Okay, okay, you can see multiple colors in terms of the circles. It is coming red, yellow, gray, and pink. Like this, if you can keep on mentioning different colors, like white, blue. You can mention multiple colors. You can see white, blue, lot of colors are coming, right? So same like this here also you can mention gray, pink, uh, green, and orange. Like this, different colors there also you can mention. Understood? What is linear gradient? Understood, guys? This is also a type of background image. In terms of the image, we can mention different linear gradients. This is just to mention image. We just need to copy paste the image, or we need to download the image and all. Or else you can give different colors with the help of the linear gradient and radial gradient. Linear gradient is the line. In terms of the line, it will come. When it comes to the radial gradient, it will be like circles. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? Is it clear? Is it interesting? Is it interesting, guys? Okay. So if you guys have any doubts, you can please let me know. I don't want to teach a lot of things at one class itself, because you will get confused. We have discussed a lot of CSS properties now. Practice this and then we'll proceed further. A lot other CSS properties are there. Okay, these are very basic things only. We just till now we have discussed. I will just give the overview what we have discussed in this session. So we have discussed about the font related properties. Okay, we have discussed about the font related properties and background colors and background images we have discussed, and then we have discussed about how to align the complete content to be center. Okay, all the content items x-axis, y-axis, how we can align to the center we have discussed. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. Okay, and then we have discussed about the border radius and border colors, and we have discussed about height and width of the boxes, how to what is div tag also we have discussed, right? Div tag is to create the complete content into container formats, right? And then we have discussed about margins, padding and all, text alignments, how to do that, background images, all these things that we have discussed in this session. You will get the complete code once we completed. I think you will get the complete code and recording sessions and all from the team. So you can practice. You will be having a website. I think I already told you, codepen.io. So you can just, if you are using the laptop, you can just practice your in your this one notepad. You can write your code and all, and you can run the particular file in the browser. If you are practicing in the mobile, you can just go to the codepen.io, and here you can write the complete HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as well. So in the earlier sessions, I already have been discussed how to use this. Okay, please go through that and check it out those videos, and you can understand how to use the codepen.io. Codepen.io is the website where you can practice. A lot other websites also there, but My suggestion is to go with the code painter type. Very simple and easy to use. And it's a free only. Okay, anything else, guys? Do you have any doubts? Let's stop the recording.